Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the SWUS. NBA Wednesday. We got 8 games on the board, but I'm only going through 3 or 4 of them. Didn't have a ton of time tonight, and a bunch of them were on back-to-backs, and I don't like to write notes for a game before they finish. So I'm going to go through 3 or 4 of them for now. Whatever we don't get to, we'll go through on the live show tomorrow at 4 p.m., 3 p.m. for college basketball. Tomorrow's guest is Ski. As far as Tuesday night, the streak has ended. And I didn't even realize how crazy the streak has gotten. So this was my first losing night in the NBA since February 14th. Since before the All-Star break. I didn't even realize it had been that long. And I had 2 break-even days in there. I had a 2-2 day and a 3-3 day. But this is my first true losing night in the NBA since February 14th. We knew it couldn't last forever, but damn, that was nice while it lasted. But yeah, let's start another one. Let's look for a bounce back Wednesday. Yeah, I'm gonna go through 3 or 4 games. Let's do it.
Welcome to the SWUS. The SWUS. SWUS. Hey, get the SWUS.
Chicago is on the road in Utah here. Jazz are catching 2 points at home. The total sitting at 228. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet and check this out. The model's got this one on point. So according to the model, the final score should be 115-113 Bulls. The line is Utah +2, and the total's at 228. So model nailed this one down to a T. Injuries and inactives, and we'll start with the Bulls. Torrey Craig is on the report. He's listed as doubtful. Other than that, Chicago should be good to go. On the Utah side, they are most definitely not good to go. Walker Kessler is going to miss another game. Lauri Markkanen's going to miss another game. Taylor Hendricks has been ruled out. He's going to miss a few games, I heard. And Keontae George is on the injury report. He's listed as questionable. So the Jazz, before the All-Star break, were one of the healthiest teams in basketball this season. Really dealing with some stuff right now. Betting trends on the Chicago side look solid here. 9-2 against the spread in their last 11 on the road. Bulls have been money in these road games, man. On the Utah side, Jazz 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 overall. 2-4 against the spread in their last 6 at home. This particular head-to-head matchup has tilted towards Chicago. The Bulls are actually 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 meetings against the Jazz. 4-2 against the spread in their last 6 trips to Utah. So Bulls have performed very well against Utah. Bulls have been trending towards the under. 1-4 to the under in their last 5 overall. 0-3 to the under in their last 3 on the road. Utah, 2-4 to the under in their last 6, but at home, they're 8-5 to the over in their last 13. That's at home. This particular matchup, 3-1 to the over in the last 4, 2-4 to the under in the last 6 in Utah. So let's match these 2 teams up on the court. We'll start with some overall net efficiency numbers here. Chicago, 16th in efficiency in the last 10, and that's with the 6th strongest schedule in the NBA. So that's solid. They're playing a tough schedule, still 16th in efficiency. Utah, 28th in efficiency in the last 10 games with 28th strength of schedule. So Utah's been terrible against a terrible schedule. We also need to take note of the pace here. Check this out. So Chicago, 25th in pace in the last 10 games. Utah, 4th. So these 2 teams, complete opposites as far as pace of play. The reason I pointed that out, Chicago on the season has done very well against fast-paced teams, despite being a slower-paced team. On the season, the Bulls are 11-4 against the spread in the top 7 in pace. So Chicago against these fast-paced teams has been a solid bet. Let's take a look at the matchup for the Bulls offense, and obviously the Bulls have the edge on this side. I mean, anyone has the edge over the Utah defense right now, but specifically, you can look at the turnover edge here, 3rd to 24th. Bulls should also get to the free throw line here, 15th to 24th. I will say this Bulls offense is used to getting second chance opportunities. In the last 10, they're 8th in offensive rebounding rate. Maybe on paper that might not be there because Utah is 6th in defensive rebounding rate in the last 10. That being said, 2 of the best rebounders on the Jazz, Walker Kessler, Lauri Markkanen, they're both out. And now Taylor Hendricks is out as well. He only averages 4 rebounds a game, but Utah, normally a very good rebounding team, I don't know if they still are right now. Some good news for the Jazz defense, and they don't get much good news nowadays, but I do have a positive angle for Utah's defense. Bulls don't run the fast break. They're dead last in fast break frequency, and Utah is dead last in fast break opportunities allowed. So it's good. It's very positive for the Jazz to be playing a team that doesn't push the tempo. Also, Chicago doesn't take a lot of three-point shots. So maybe the Bulls are not the best offense to exploit the weak Utah perimeter defense. Chicago does all their damage inside the three-point line, mid-range, even at the rim a bit. But honestly, I'm not even sure if it matters at this point because the Jazz defense is pretty god-awful everywhere. Pretty sure the Bulls shouldn't have problems scoring here, whether they can shoot the three ball or not. Now, on the other side of the court, we got the Jazz offense, and if we pull up numbers from the last 10 games, we can find a couple angles here. Offensive glass, Jazz should get second chance opportunities, and Jazz should get trips to the free throw line as well. That being said, I'm going to repeat what I said earlier. No Walker Kessler, no Lauri Markkanen. It's two of their best pieces as far as grabbing offensive rebounds. Markkanen is also one of the team leaders in free throw attempts per game. In fact, I think he might lead the team. So, again, I don't know if these positive angles for the Jazz still exist with their current injuries. We can look at the fast break numbers for Utah. They're 12th in frequency. They haven't been great in the fast break, but they do try it. Whether or not they're able to get those opportunities off in this one, we'll have to wait and see. Chicago just 25th in defensive efficiency against the fast break, but they're second in frequency, meaning they're really good at preventing you from getting out on the fast break. So kind of tough to get a read there. Now, if I was recording this a week or two ago, I'd say the Jazz should be able to cash from three against the Bulls defense. Chicago was struggling against the above the break three, but they've really shored things up. Look at the last 10 games here. 30th in frequency, so they're allowing a lot of attempts, but they're 10th in efficiency, so they've done a good job contesting shots out there. I'm not sure. I really don't know what to expect from this Jazz team, honestly. I don't see many positive angles here, which is why, as I'm sure you guessed from my notes, I'm on the Bulls here. Now, I like betting the Bulls as road dogs a lot more than road favorites, but at a short line like 2, definitely don't love that I expect the whole world to be on the Bulls, but there's no way I could take Utah here. I haven't bet this one yet, but I could almost guarantee you I'll end up putting some money on Chicago. So give me Bulls -2.
So, yeah, when I recorded this one, the line was at 2. It moved 3 whole points. I really wish I jumped on the Bulls at 2. Now that it's up at 5, I'm not switching sides. I would still be on Chicago, but I think I might do one of those sneaky little money line parlays, like maybe pair the Bulls with the Clippers. That's what I'm thinking. I haven't bet anything yet, but I think I'm going to go Bulls moneyline, Clippers moneyline parlay. I'll put the odds on the screen.
Next game. Milwaukee on the road in Golden State. Dubs are laying 3 points at home. The total sitting at 228.5. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet, and according to the model, we should see a 5-point Bucks win. Final score, 115-110 Milwaukee, so Bucks should win outright. Obviously, the model doesn't know whether or not Giannis is playing. Speaking of which, let's talk injuries. On the Milwaukee side, Jay Crowder's on the report, but he's listed as probable. Giannis, who sat out last game, he's listed as questionable, so we do not know if he's returning yet. Chris Middleton is still out for the Bucks. On the Golden State side, nobody. Actually, let me refresh the page because I thought that one guy was... No, just refresh the page. Nobody on the report for Golden State as I'm recording this. Before we get into this one, we need to point out that Golden State is rested. 2 days rest for the Warriors. Now on the season, they're just 5-3 straight up on 2 days rest, but this one is unique because they're coming off a 52-point loss to the Celtics. And by the way, Milwaukee, 6 straight wins. And the last one was a comeback win against the Clippers with no Giannis. So kind of a weird spot for both these teams. Betting trends on the Milwaukee side are excellent. Bucks are 8-2 against the number in their last 10 overall, 4-2 against the spread in their last 4 on the road. Golden State 11-3 against the spread in their last 14. 4-2 against the spread in their last 6 at home. This particular matchup has definitely tilted towards the Warriors. Milwaukee just 3-6 against the spread in their last 9 matchups against Golden State, and they're just 0-4 against the spread in their last 4 trips to Golden State. Both teams trending heavily towards an under here. Milwaukee 2-14 to the under in their last 16, 2-13 to the under in their last 15 on the road. Golden State 2-12 to the under in their last 14, 1-5 to the under in their last 6 at home. This particular matchup, though, has tilted towards the over. 5-2 to the over in their last 7 meetings, 4-2 to the over in their last 6 meetings in Golden State. So let's match these two teams up on the court, and we'll start with some overall net efficiency numbers. Edge Milwaukee. In the last 5 games, the Bucks are 5th in overall net efficiency with the 21st strongest schedule, so they've had a bit of a fortunate schedule. Golden State, 25th in net efficiency. A little bit stronger of a schedule, though. They're 14th, but still. 25th is not good for the Warriors. Now, I want to point out that net efficiency uses the margins from wins and losses. That's how that's calculated. And so a 52-point loss to Boston is definitely skewing the shit out of Golden State's numbers. We know they haven't been that bad. Let's start with the matchup for Milwaukee's offense. And I have some good news for the Warriors defense here. Their main struggle has been protecting the interior, specifically the short mid-range shot. They're dead last in frequency and efficiency there. They're also 25th in efficiency at the basket as well. The reason that's good news, Milwaukee hasn't been attacking the interior at all. They're actually dead last in short mid-range frequency and 14th in rim frequency. So I really don't think the Bucks are the best offense to exploit Golden State's weakness. Not that Golden State's defense against jump shooters has been amazing, but it's certainly been much better than their numbers on the interior. Milwaukee obviously taking a ton of jump shots. Look at the frequency from the three ball. Third above the break, second from the corner. So Milwaukee taking a ton of threes. Golden State has good numbers against the corner three. Who cares, though? Look at the above the break numbers. 26th in frequency, 17th in efficiency. So overall, the Warriors defense is a tough matchup for Milwaukee, but they should get opportunities to hit outside shots. But before we move on to the other side and look at the matchup for the Warriors offense, we need to point out the numbers in transition, because Golden State has struggled all season defending the fast break. They're 28th in frequency, 22nd in efficiency, 28th in transition points per game allowed. The Bucks, second most efficient fast break in the NBA. So the Bucks on paper should exploit the shit out of the Warriors in that department. That being said, a couple hesitations here. Number one, Giannis may not play, and he leads the NBA in transition points per game. So that second most efficient fast break in the NBA, Milwaukee, probably not the same without Giannis. And also, despite being an excellent fast break team, Bucks are just 4-8 against the spread versus bottom 8 defenses in transition points per game allowed. So they haven't even taken advantage when they played these bad fast break defenses. So I don't know if we should even take anything away from that. On the other side, we got Golden State's offense, and they're just 26th in offensive efficiency in the last 5 games, 27th in the last 6 games if you include that Charlotte game. They've failed to exceed 110 points in 5 of their last 6 games, scoring 104 or less in 3 of them. So Golden State's offense has not looked good, and that's scary because they're about to play the Bucks defense, which is probably, I mean, maybe the hottest defense in the NBA. Actually, I'd probably give that to Miami, but Milwaukee's playing some serious defense right now. They're second in defensive EFG in the last 10 games. And you can see it in the numbers. I mean, look at the numbers from the last 10 games. EFG, huge edge Milwaukee's defense. Free throw rate, 9th to 30th. On paper, Golden State should get 0 trips to the foul line. And to make matters even worse, the lone weakness in Milwaukee's defense has been the above the break 3, which would have been perfect because Golden State launches from out there. But actually, they're starting to get better. They're actually 9th in efficiency against that shot in the last 10 games, so might not be their weakness anymore. Golden State also shoots that short mid-range shot. Milwaukee against that shot, 10th and 11th. So I don't know if we can count on an ice-cold Golden State offense scoring points here against one of the hottest defenses in the NBA, which is why I kind of want to bet the Bucks, but I also like the matchup for Golden State's defense. So rather than trying to pick a side, worrying about the status of Giannis, let's just play an under here. I'm going to roll with the under at 228.5. Next game, Oklahoma City on the road in Portland. Blazers catching 11.5 points at home, total sitting at 224.5. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet, and according to the model, we should see a 1-point OKC win. Final score, 111-110 Thunder. Injuries and inactives, and we'll start with Oklahoma City. Jalen Williams is going to miss another game, but not the Jalen Williams that starts, the Jalen Williams that comes off the bench. On the Portland side, brace yourself. So Henderson still out, Sharp still out, Brogdon still out, Ayton is questionable, Tybalt is questionable, Jeremy Grant questionable, Kamara questionable, Duop Reith questionable. That's actually it. I almost said Kamara again. But yeah, the entire Portland Trailblazers roster is on the injury report here, which is why I'm not even going to get into this one. There's no chance in hell I'm laying 11.5 points on the road with Oklahoma City, who I think doesn't look the same recently. But I mean, I kind of feel the same way about this one that I felt about Portland at Minnesota the other night. I said I lean Portland plus 13.5, but I don't think I have the balls to actually pull the trigger. That's where I'm at here. I lean Portland plus 11.5, but I don't think I could actually pull the trigger on it. Blazers are past. Next game, Sacramento on the road in LA here. Lakers are laying 2.5 at home, total sitting at 238.5. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet, and according to the model, we should see a 2-point Lakers win. Final score 117-115 LA. Injuries and inactives for the Kings. Just Vezenkov, who's been out for a while now. Other than that, Kings should be at full strength. On the Lakers side, Vanderbilt still out, Gabe Vincent still out, Christian Wood still out, LeBron James listed as questionable, but we know that doesn't mean anything. Anthony Davis and Cam Reddish both on the injury report, but they're listed as probable. Betting trends on the Kings side: Sacramento 4-8 against the spread in their last 12 overall, 3-1 against the spread in their last 4 on the road, though, so been covering on the road. On the Lakers side, Lakers just 2-5 against the number in their last 7 overall. They are, however, 7-5 against the spread in their last 12 at home. In this particular head-to-head matchup, it's been all Kings. Lakers are just 1-6 against the spread in their last 7 matchups against the Kings, 1-7 against the spread in their last 8 meetings against the Kings in LA. So the Kings have had no problem coming out here to LA. So let's match these two teams up on the court. We'll start with some overall net efficiency numbers. In the last 10 games, Lakers sitting at 10th in overall efficiency, Kings at 14th. So slight advantage Lakers. But look at the strength of schedule in that span. First for the Kings. First, they play their strongest schedule in the NBA in the last 10. Lakers back at 20th. So the Kings have gone through the gauntlet recently, while the Lakers have seen a much easier schedule. The fact that these numbers are even close, 10 to 14th, that's actually an angle for Sacramento, in my opinion. Kings offense versus Lakers defense. I like the matchup for Sacramento here. Big rebounding advantage, 5th to 28th in the last 10 games, and that's with playing a much stronger schedule. Kings should have plenty of second chance opportunities in this game. Kings should also have no problem scoring points in transition in this one. On the season, Sacramento is 6th in fast break frequency. Lakers allow more opponent fast breaks than every other team in the NBA except the Utah Jazz. They're 29th, so it's a really good matchup for the Kings offense on paper. Now, on the other side, we got the Lakers offense, and this is where we can find some angles for LA. Lakers should be scoring points right back on the Kings. Sacramento does have the significant rebounding edge, though, so shouldn't be many second chance points on this side. But look at the mismatch here for the Lakers down low. As we know, the Lakers attack the interior. That's what the Lakers offense does. They've done it for multiple years now. And the Kings have terrible looking defensive numbers on the interior in the last 10 games. Now, the question we got to ask, did the Kings defense at the rim fall off? Or are these numbers a result of who they played in the last 10 games? Because protecting the basket has actually been the strength of this Kings defense all year. In their last 10 games, check this out. Denver, Oklahoma City, Phoenix, Denver. They had the Spurs in there, so they did have one easy game. Clippers, Heat, Denver, Minnesota, Chicago. That is the gauntlet, man. In the last 10 games, Kings are 22nd in defensive efficiency at the rim, like we just saw. But if you look at the previous 10 games, they're actually 5th. So it's a tough call there. I mean, teams do fall off, and things that they were good at, they become poor at, and they struggle with. But I'm not willing to say all of a sudden the Kings can't defend the basket because they played an insanely hard schedule over a stretch. So I actually think the Kings will give the Lakers offense problems, which is why I'm on Sacramento. I already bet this one. I took it at 2.5. Give me the Kings plus the points. Lakers coming off a big win at home, laying points against Kings as road dogs. You know I love betting the Kings as road dogs. Give me Sacramento plus 2.5. As I mentioned earlier, live shows, 3 p.m. college basketball, 4 p.m. NBA. Skis coming on. We'll go through all the games. I know I was only able to get through 3 or 4 on the live show. We'll go through them all. If you're able to make it, would love to see you in the comments. NBA Wednesday, we got 8 games on the board. Need a bounce back. The winning streak is officially over. If you want my top bets for all sports parlays of the day, or you'd like to join our Discord, head over to KyleKirms.com. The information's right there on the homepage. Let's have ourselves a bounce back Wednesday. Remember to bet responsibly, and I'll talk to you in the Discord.